Hello, my name is Ben O'Hanlon. I'm here with my team from the community. We've been supporting the IOG and the Cardano ecosystem since October. We've been building out the infrastructure and the talent to better support Cardano as it grows after smart contracts. I'm going to introduce you to my team. With me, I've got Lena Ono, I've got Matthew Capps, Hassan Khalil, and Neve. We're going to talk about what the community has been doing, what each person in the team is working on, and some of the great results and initiatives that we've been delivering. So with that being said, let's do a short round of introductions. Lena, do you want to give an introduction to yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hi everyone, I'm Lena. It's been an amazing few months working with the team, working with this.
Allegra and Mary. So with the Shelley release, we decentralized the network. So this is a proof of stake. Cardano is a proof of stake blockchain. And with Shelley, we actually started running this in a decentralized manner where people who own some ADA can delegate it to pool operators. And it's a pretty big network. So we have over 2,800 active pools, according to monitoring websites. And yeah, so since Shelley, you can delegate your stake. You can also get rewards for that. And these pool operators run nodes on your behalf. And the more stake they get delegated, the more blocks they get to produce.
That's not all, Philip, right? So back in Shelley, we were thinking ahead to Alonso, and we were thinking we would need scripts, right? So already in Shelley?
Yeah, already in Shelley, we did introduce some scripting functionality. We added some rules to the ledger to process scripts, but we didn't have Plutus yet, and so we added simple scripting languages which you can use to define multi-signature conditions. So saying, okay, I have these 5 keys and I need signatures from 3 out of them. Time locks, or also like time-dependent scripts saying, okay, and in this, up until this point, those signatures will do. Afterwards, another signature will do, things like that. And yeah, so we have basically the ledger is prepared to handle scripts. And now with Alonso, we added Plutus, and before that we had this very simple dedicated language. Yeah.
So it's perhaps worth noting there that in particular we had script addresses already. So we had all the basic infrastructure to be able to handle scripts. So surprisingly little actually was added with Alonso in a way. There's quite a lot that was already there. It's just it was sort of latent and not really being fully utilized until we had an interesting script language, which of course is what we have with Plutus.
Yeah, so we could test that whole infrastructure out already, see that we have script addresses both for payment and for delegating, which is worth noting. And yeah, so now it's plugging in the Plutus interpreter in addition to that other language that we still have. And we also have the ability to add more languages, and so it's a flexible framework. Yeah.
Great, thanks, Philip. But we're also running, you said, in a decentralized way, right?
Yeah. So we have nodes all around the world and independent stake pool operators, about over 2,800 of them. Now the remarkable thing is that these thousands of stake pools are distributed across the globe, and nevertheless we managed to get blocks across the network reliably and efficiently and in a very robust manner. So in Cardano we have new blocks on average every 20 seconds. And unless we get them through the whole network, or at least to the next block producing node, in that time we get temporary forks. And that happens very rarely. I mean, with the consensus algorithm, with the Prayos, you occasionally do have some, but we're measuring the performance of the system, we're measuring the block propagation times, and this is all well within the region that is necessary in order to have a stable and growing chain.
So that's blocks in Europe, blocks in North America, blocks in South America, blocks in Australia, blocks in Africa, Philip.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So again, before Plutus, we'd added some additional functionality, Philip. Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so one thing that is, I think, quite unique about Cardano is that we have native assets, so that we, on right in the bookkeeping of the system itself, we don't just have one currency, but we have the ability to have multiple currencies right in the UTXO. So you don't need any kind of special transactions, special scripts in order to transfer tokens that you minted. But you can have them right in the UTXO and you can transfer them with ordinary transactions. And so, yeah.
First, we're currently doing a deep dive on pricing models for smart contract transaction processing. Some first highlights of this work you can see, for instance, in the bubble fees and stable fees panel that is also in the program of the summit. There is also very exciting work that is coming up in the direction by a research team, that includes dynamic pricing models, which adjust automatically the fees in Cardano so they always remain predictable and fair. Another interesting domain that we're looking into right now is blockchain storage. Storage is a precious resource in a global transaction ledger, but it's also quite essential if we want to have fully functional and general purpose smart contracts. So we're working on the area of distributed databases and storage protocols to enhance the smart contracts capability with as much storage as they require. Another line of work aims to build formal verification tools for smart contracts. So with such tools, it's possible to build decentralized applications on top of the Cardano blockchains that will be formally verified. While another line that you should expect to see a lot of development is new DSLs for various domains that will extend the developer community of the system. Let's go a bit deeper now and further down in the protocol stack and look at the settlement layer. This is where the Ouroboros protocol lives. Undoubtedly, this was one of the major achievements of our research team over the last 5 years. We delivered groundbreaking advances in proof-of-stake protocol design with the Ouroboros protocol in 2016. And these were further improved with resilience against adaptive attacks and bootstrapping from Genesis in 2017 and 2018, respectively. These provided the solid foundation for the Cardano ecosystem. It's worth saying that one of the fundamental drivers behind the research that we did for Ouroboros was the energy efficiency of the underlying network. This would be contrasted to, for example, Bitcoin, that is a protocol which does not distinguish energy sources, and it will hungrily consume vast amounts of energy, currently on par with a medium-sized country in annualized consumption. In contrast, the Ouroboros network consumes only a modicum amount of energy per node. And while Ouroboros can be scaled via Hydra, our layer 2 protocol extension, we have continued to consider ways we can optimize the throughput and latency of the main chain protocol. Further,
purely it's a subset of a language that I've worked on for quite a long time called Haskell. So now we have Haskell-powered scripts behind one of the world's most successful blockchains. And here's a little example of a script that I ran on the Alonzo testnet over the weekend. What it's doing, it's a minting script. So we've mentioned native tokens, we've mentioned minting, and what this lets me do is to program
simple conditions like, these two people have to agree before something can be minted. Whereas now with Plutus, you can express complex conditions, including, as Kevin said, things like, how many of them there are in the world, so that you can guarantee uniqueness, for example.
So we've spoken about Alonzo, we've spoken about Plutus. What's going to happen next? Well, the next thing that we're going to see is going to be the Babbage Era. What we're going to do with Babbage is to make various performance improvements. We've had these in the pipeline for quite a long time, but we've deliberately avoided rolling them out so we didn't disrupt the Alonzo rollout, we didn't disrupt the first version of Plutus, but these will bring benefits to a large number of users. So we're looking at improving the syncing performance, we're looking at smoothing